Hello bankers, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome back. So guys, from this session onwards, we are going to start with our ABM concept classes summary for your upcoming examination. All right. So hope you guys are doing well with your exam preparation. So module C आपका credit management. So very first unit is overview of credit management. Then we have analysis of financial statement, working capital management, term loan, credit delivery, and straight through processing. Then we have credit control and monitoring, risk management and credit ratings, restructuring, rehabilitation and recovery. Then we have resolution of stress asset and insolvency and bankruptcy code 2016. So these are the units which are generally part of this particular one, and each and every single unit is important for your examination. Okay? So we will start our discussion with very first unit, unit number 17, which is an overview of the your credit management. Okay? So if it comes to this particular unit, we have importance of credit, historical background, principle of credit. This is one of the most important subtopic. Type of borrowers, type of credit, component of credit management, the most important unit from this one, and the आपका RBI guidelines. Okay, so these are the three subtopics which are very important one from this particular unit itself. One is principle of your credit management, as well as आपका the components and RBI guidelines, which generally cover around the PSL, MSMEs, NPA provisioning, and also they are generally part of this particular one. I have done one set of question based on unit 17. I hope आप लोगों ने वो देख लिया होगा. अगर नहीं देखा तो आप उसको इसके बाद देख सकते हैं, ठीक है. So now first I'll be providing you the concept summary things and all, so you can brush up your knowledge toward these particular areas, and then you can participate in the unit wise MCQs, case studies and application based question, right? So when it comes to unit number 17, credit management and overview, so it include like these are the important areas. So one by one we are going to cover each and every subunit of this particular one. Okay, so we will start with the principles of it. Okay? So when it comes to the principle of credit or lending, okay, it include basically these are the core or cardinal principle of lending. ठीक है, तो जिसमें हमारा क्या क्या चीजें आती है, सेफ्टी. फर्स्ट थिंग आपका ensure that the borrower can repay the loan, which include capacity to pay, willingness to pay and income generation ability. ठीक है, so whenever we give loan to any customer, when we do the loan appraisals, so we generally consider these many areas. ठीक है, कि जितना भी वो लोन आपका ले रहे हैं, ठीक है, we can use FOIR और the other ratios आपका. ठीक है, कि ओवरऑल डेट कितना है और उसके ऊपर आपका उनके मंथली इनकम, आपका जो टेकवे है वो कितना बचता है, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली वी do the loan appraisals, and उसी के basis पे we decide the limit, interest rate, as well as आपका the overall capacity or the credit based on the credit worthiness of that particular customer. We decide the limit for the customer. ठीक है, liquidity is again the another important components of your lending principle. ठीक है, ensure money lent is available for repayment as per schedule. Bank must maintain enough liquid asset to meet a depositor demands and avoid illiquidity. It is something this we have discussed so many time in our BFM also. Okay? So rapid creation of assets sometime that can hurt the overall ALM performances, right? So we are taking deposit from the customer, from those particular deposit only we are creating assets. So whenever we are making any asset, so we have to assess that particular one very well, and we have to maintain that a proper match between assets and liabilities, maturity as well as आपका amounts. ठीक है, next one आपका profitability. This is again a key. ठीक है, I hope you remember that balance between liquidity and solvency, that what a bank want. ठीक है, so bank aim to earn profit on advances to cover operational cost and reward shareholders. Pricing of advance depend on borrower's risk, purpose and profitability. Basically, the profitability measures are basically NII, positive NII, net interest income, or आपका NIM, net interest margin and all, they generally comes under this one. Purpose आपका, loan should be for productive or approved purposes only. Diversification of risk, there should not be any sort of concentration at our in our asset side, ठीक है. So जो भी लोन हम दे रहे हैं, so that is a very well diversified, ठीक है. कहीं ना कहीं हर एक एरियाज के अंदर प्रॉपर लोकेशंस आपके होने चाहिए, ठीक है. So if one sector is, let's say आपका, I hope you remember that concentration risk, ठीक है. So this is something, let's say a bank have done something, they have built up their portfolio something like this. Let's say they have given maximum loan to IT sector, yeah, about 60-70%, and rest other sectors, okay, or economies. So this, if something happened to IT sector, economy wise and all, so this bank is going to face huge losses due to concentration risk. So what we generally expect from bank while we create the assets, so there should be a proper diversification, okay. Security, educate security, collateral must be back the loan. So if in case of any default, we can recover those particular one. Okay? So these are the cardinal principles of your आपका lending or credit. Okay? Now we generally follow 7 C's in our banking for the credit purpose. These are the character, willingness and integrity of the borrowers, capacity, ability to generate income and repay, capital, borrowers' own investment in business, collaterals, backup security for loan, conditions, economic and market context, credit worthiness, overall financial health and track record of the customer, cash flows, primary source of repayments आपका, ठीक है. So we generally assess that particular borrowers based on these particular or these many grounds itself, right? Now there is one another subtopic, type of borrowers, okay? So we can have these many borrowers in our system. A borrower can be an individual for the personal requirements or for the home loans, for car loans, sole proprietary firm, Hindu undivided families, HUF, one person company, आपका partnership firm, LLPs, joint ventures, private and public companies, statutory corporation, trust, real estate investment trust, cooperative societies, club and association, local authorities, institution and government departments. ठीक है. तो आपका इनमें से कोई भी, they can approach to our bank for the any kind of loan purposes, right? This is a very simple one. Everybody knows about this one. Now our facilities, when it comes to the facilities आपका which we generally provide to the customers, majorly they are categorized between two areas. One is fund based services, where we generally provide where there is a direct cash flow is involved. Another one is आपका fee based services, where we generally work as a guarantor and we charge some sort of fee आपका, ठीक है. So sometimes their occurrence is based on the contingency, ठीक है. That flow आपका fund flow may occur or may not, ठीक है. जैसे in case of letter of credit, so if that borrowers default, in that case only you have to make payment. Otherwise, like if they are making payment on timely basis, so you do not have to disburse money to the borrowers आपका, ठीक है. That is the kind of or a sort of guarantee which is provided by bank to the आपका as a opening bank for the LC. We generally provide some sort of guarantee to the sellers. If you'll fulfill the requirement of that particular invoice, we assure you कि you will get your payments और आपका full payments on timely basis, right? So we have two type of facilities आपका fund based, where we generally provide direct like there is a movement of money from our bank to the borrower's account. It can be आपका like cash or credit overdraft. It can be any term loan or demand loan, or it can be of sort of bill finance. Non-fund based credit facilities, आपका bank guarantee, acceptance facility, letter of credit and all, they are generally get involved in this particular one. So unit number 17 is basically an overview to entire module C आपका. तो यहाँ पे ज़्यादा challenge नहीं आना चाहिए, ठीक है. Now this part is the most important. ये सबसे ज़्यादा important है अभी तक का हमारा ये part, ठीक है. So where we have component of credit management and the another one is RBI guidelines. So when it comes to the component of credit management, it has these many areas like loan policy of banks. One by one, we are going to discuss all these areas in detail. So loan policy आपका, that we have taken a basic introduction also. Appraisal आपका, then we have delivery mechanism, control and monitoring, credit risk management, rectification, restructuring and recovery, and the final one is refinance आपका. So when it comes to the components of credit management, These are the areas where we generally interact with the customers on the day-to-day basis. It can be around the basic policies around any particular loan. It can be आपका project finance or it can be आपका home loan, car loan, personal loan. ठीक है? For each and every segment, we have different guidelines, and even these guidelines are vary from bank to bank, as well as we have some sort of regulatory compliances as well. ठीक है? So there must be a adherence to those particular guidelines as well. ठीक है? Appraisal is something where we do the आपका KYC, आपका due diligence and all everything, and the documents, requirements, everything. Delivery आपका where we making some sort of disbursement, ठीक है? And आपका control and monitoring where we are like we have existing asset base and all, so we are having some sort of loan review mechanism and all for this particular, ठीक है? Again for this credit risk management, rectification if in case of any default, ठीक है? Restructuring, ठीक है? We offer the restructuring things, or sometimes customers they approach for the restructuring, okay? And the final one is recovery in case of any default, okay? Then refinance is basically, let's say it can be done through the domestic financial institutions like NABARD and all, okay? So we generally act as the mediators, and we try to build a chain between these DFIs and आपका target customers, ठीक है? So loan policy, आपका first one is loan policy. Bank loan policy outline their framework for evaluating and sanctioning credit proposals. It can be any variety of proposal. It can be for a project finance by a company, or it can be for a home loan by a individual customer. So it's a by market condition, competitors policy, and bank SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, and opportunities and threat, and RBI guidelines. So whenever it comes to the loan policy, it is a kind of combination. Few things are decided by bank and few things are decided by RBI itself, right? So setting what comes under this particular one, setting exposure limit for individual client and connected group आपका, ठीक है? Exposure limit is something कि एक particular customer को हम maximum कितना loan देंगे, and what will be the आपका areas on the basis of those particular things, you are going to judge the overall credit worthiness of that particular customer. For that sake, we have external credit rating agencies, as well as we have our internal mechanism also, ठीक है? So it is for individual and आपका for the group borrowers. Sector based exposure आपका in a specific to deal with any kind of concentration risk in our system. We have आपका sector based exposure limit कि इस particular sector के अंदर will like overall portfolio का इतना will be the cap for our bank, ठीक है? So basically totally depend on the risk appetite of the bank as well as the credit worthiness of the borrowers, ठीक है? Then we have granting a discretionary power at various level for loan sanctioning, like we have a head office, regional office, branches. Even in branch also आपका we have different posts and all, ठीक है? So let's say if it is a आपका branch manager, they can sanction up to 5 crores, or आपका if it is a PO, they can sanction up to this limit. So those kind of things which generally comes under this, including provision for overdraft and ad hoc limits, ठीक है? So these are the area. This we have practiced with the question also. I hope you guys remember. Second part is appraisal. When it comes to the appraisal, loan appraisals आपका, ठीक है? So loan appraisal policies. Every bank they do have like we do have RBI guidelines, so they are kind of a must, like there must be adherence to those particular guidelines, as well as there are some input from the bank itself. Bank wise we have some sort of guidelines and all. So while we grant any loan to any customer, so there these appraisal policies must be met, okay? So जैसे आपका क्या क्या चीजें इसमें मिलेंगे, background, credit history, market report of the borrowers, then we have the financial track record of the borrowers as presented by financial statements. Financial statement in case of a company, it is their balance sheet, profit and loss statement and all. In case of an individual, we ask for ITR forms of last 2 years, or their income statements, आपका sources of income and all, they generally comes under this. Where the statement are not available, in case most of the individual, the net worth and repayment capacity is judged by the collecting detail of assets and liabilities and sources of income, ठीक है? Sources of income means आपका their salary slips or ITRs and all, ठीक है? C आपका techno-economic feasibility reports of the activity are proposed, ठीक है? Especially for the project financing, ठीक है? the detail required in the detail required in this depend on nature of activity and amount of loan. The purpose to ensure that there is a reasonably high probability of the activity being successful and bank getting back its principal interest in the time basis. Let's say if some organization, they are approaching you for some sort of project. So what we do the project evaluation also, how this project is going to generate cash flows for the organization, and even for the cross check we also visit their project areas and all. ठीक है, so we want to make sure कि जो भी पैसा हम यहाँ पे लगा रहे हैं, whatever money we are lending to those particular customers, so we are going to get back those particular one. ठीक है, securities available आपका, their value and आपका reliability. ठीक है, so securities आपका if it is available, so what is the current market value, and even securitization process also we generally prefer the securities whose market value is आपका very less or least volatile. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि आपका they are highly volatiles, तो मार्केट के साथ उनकी वैल्यू चेंज होती रहेगी. ठीक है, सो हाई वॉलेटाइल मीन्स देयर वैल्यू मे डिक्रीज. ठीक है, अगर डिक्रीज होगा दैट इज गोइंग टू मेक सम नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट ऑन द ओवरऑल सिक्योरिटाइजेशन. वी डू नॉट एक्सेप्ट द पेरिसेबल गुड्स एंड ऑल. ठीक है, so it can be pledge, it can be hypothecation, it can be mortgage, or else we go for the assignment things also. Okay, so these are the things which generally comes under your appraisal process. Okay, apart from this we have lots of RBI guidelines regarding the credit management. Okay, so which include NPA provisioning, loan to the priority sector, MSMEs, or your MCLR. ठीक है, आपका then external benchmark rate since 2019 itself. So there are so many things. Earlier there was आपका base rate, then MCLR, then आपका the external benchmark lending rates. ठीक है, so these are the one. ठीक है, so now one by one we are going to discuss all these subtopics. छोटे छोटे areas हैं. ठीक है, with the help of how these particular things are going to help you. ठीक है, I'll make a compilation also, तो जहाँ पे you can revise things with the help of these particular PDFs. And this content is 100% aligned with your Macmillan book, so you'll find easy. आपको वो आपका 1300 पेज का बुक पढ़ने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा. If you'll go through these particular one again and again, so because this examination is purely driven by the concept things, ठीक है, तो आपको चीजें थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाएंगी. ठीक है, so role of RBI guidelines in bank credit management, this is again a very important subtopic आपका. ठीक है, which is part of this one. ठीक है, तो जहाँ पे they have given so many areas आपका. ठीक है, जैसे NPA provisioning दिया हुआ है आपका, जैसे हमने MCLR बेस रेट इनकी बात करी, या फिर आपका PSL के पूरे गाइडलाइंस दिए हुए हैं, एवरीथिंग. ठीक है, सो द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ बैंक टू इंश्योर दैट फंड they provide are used for the approved purposes. Bank must implement measure to monitor the flow and end use of fund, preventing misuse such as diverting working capital for investment or fixed asset purchase, that is called siphoning of funds. Okay? Or even sometimes it is done for the personal purposes also. Okay? To do this, bank may adopt these following practices. Okay? So these are the general practices for the credit आपका basically credit which is generally provided by bank to the customers itself. ठीक है, so that is generally part of this particular one. ठीक है, okay, so it include आपका securitizing. ठीक है, basically we are asking for some sort of securities, so in case of any default we can recover that particular money. ठीक है, so periodic progress and financial report of borrowers. ठीक है, sorry, it is not securitizing, it is आपका collaterals. ठीक है, it is आपका scrutinizing. ठीक है, so basically it is आपका अब जांच हम लोग उसको बोलते हैं हिंदी में आपका. It is something which is we are keep updating that particular asset. We are doing, if it is आपका, let's say आपका there is a borrowers who have taken lots of money from the bank, so we are doing some sort of regular credit audit on that particular loan, so we can check the overall credit worthiness, how the financial health of that particular borrower is working. अगर उसमें कोई credit weakness आ रही है, तो how we can mitigate those particular, and what are the risks involved and how we can mitigate those particular one. ठीक है, so periodic progress and financial report of borrowers. ठीक है, conducting site visit आपका, as I said earlier also, कि what we do generally do, we visit the site जहाँ पे भी वो project, जिस भी project को हम लोग finance करें, even in case of home loan also, we first visit the house आपका जहाँ पे भी है, we ask for the e-खाता things and all, ठीक है. So we can make sure कि हाँ, that property or that project really exists and they do have that capability to deliver those particular project and all, ठीक है. Inspecting the securities charged to the bank, examining the borrower's accounting records regularly, carrying out stock and audit based on the level of exposures, collecting a certificate, borrowers confirming appropriate funds utilization and all, that is generally part of this one. Okay? So there are so many advice line. Then next one we have priority sector categories आपका, ठीक है. So RBI has mandated some areas कि जहाँ पे you have to have lend some portion of your overall A and B C और आपका COB, ठीक है, that is the one. I hope you guys remember the PSL guidelines. So we have different guidelines. So like for normal banks, आपका normal commercial bank, they have to lend 40% of their COB और आपका A and B C to the 40% of their A and B C to the priority sector, ठीक है. In case of a commercial bank, ठीक है. In case of a cooperative bank from 25-26 onwards, it has become 75% for this year, ठीक है. Then when it comes to the other areas like small finance bank, again 75%, RRB is आपका 75%. So we do have this categorization. So these are some core areas of Indian economy, ठीक है. So for the development, basically these are very loan sensitive areas. Repaying capacity is very less. So usually bank they try to avoid these particular. So RBI come up with some mandate आपका कि ओवरऑल जो भी आपका लैंडिंग है उसका सर्टेन पोर्शन यू हैव टू गिव टू दीज पर्टिकुलर एरियाज, ठीक है. सो फॉर दैट वन RBI decide which sectors qualify as priority sector and the minimum credit allocation bank must provide to these sectors. The RBI monitor this through the regular return submitted by banks and performance is reviewed under the lead bank scheme at various administrative levels also, ठीक है. So these are the areas which are generally categorized as आपका priority sector, ठीक है. Sometime you will see 9 आपका if you open the RBI website and 9th one is आपका weaker section, ठीक है. So these are the most important areas for the Indian economic development. So where bank they have to, in case of a normal bank like SBI, they have to lend 40% of their A and B C adjusted net bank credit or COB to the priority sector. And even we have some sub-norms also. Out of this, they have to lend 18% for agriculture. 18% is earmarked for agriculture. Then we have for weaker section, they have to lend आपका 12%. We have आपका next one की let's say for MSCs, ठीक है, MSCs आपका they have to lend 7.5% in all, ठीक है. So these are the regulatory compliances and we have to have meet with these particular requirement and we have to report these particular one on regular interval, ठीक है. And basically this responsibility is given to the lead bank of that particular district level, ठीक है. तो ये बहुत ही important areas हो जाते हैं and you cannot skip these areas because these are the part of the prudential guidelines or regulatory guidelines, ठीक है. When it comes to the guidelines, I hope maximum people know around these particular thing, but for this आपका you can have this one, ठीक है. So priority sector आपका domestic commercial bank excluding RRBs, foreign banks with 20 branches and above, ठीक है, it is 40% of their आपका COB or your ANBC, ठीक है. In case of this is the primary rule, these are the kind of subcategories, ठीक है, out of which 18% is earmarked for the agriculture and micro MSMEs आपका 7.5% and weaker section आपका 12%, ठीक है. If it comes to less than 20 branches of foreign banks, they do not have sub targets आपका 40%, ठीक है. In case of regional rural banks 75% आपका, ठीक है, 18% for your agriculture, 7.5% for the weak आपका MSCs, ठीक है. Then आपका 15% for weaker section, ठीक है. Small finance bank आपका 75%, 18% agriculture, 7.5 and 12% here, ठीक है. Apart from this, there were some changes आपका from 1st April 2025 onwards. These changes are mostly about the cooperative banks. So primary cooperative banks from the financial year 2025-26 onward, they have to lend 75% of their ANBC to the priority sector आपका, ठीक है. So now they belongs to similar to RRBs and small finance bank, ठीक है. एंड इफ इट कम्स टू द माइक्रो एंटरप्राइजेस और एडवांस टू वीकर सेक्शन, ठीक है, सो इट इज आपका it is 12% now, ठीक है, so that's why it is mentioned here 12% आपका, ठीक है, this is that's why it is mentioned 12% here, ठीक है. तो please go through these particular one and try to remember these one or revise these one, ठीक है, they are definitely going to help you in your upcoming examination, ठीक है. तो इतना क्लियर है दोस्तों, आगे बढ़ते हैं. So now weaker section, when it comes to the weaker section, ठीक है, under the priority sector lending category, so they include आपका weaker section which include these areas, ठीक है. Small and marginal farmers, artisan village cottage industries, where with a credit limit up to 1 lakhs, ठीक है. Then we have beneficiaries of government schemes, ठीक है, DRI schemes is mentioned here, ठीक है. We have scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, self-help groups, distressed farmers, ठीक है, distressed non-farmers, individual women borrowers, person with disabilities, and Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana account holders and all, ठीक है, they all generally categorize under the weaker section or the other category of the, which is the 8th category of your PSL guidelines by the RBI itself. Now देखो, this is CAIB, तो यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं they'll ask you the they are going to test your knowledge by, they can test by any angle, ठीक है. तो वो आपको जैसे ये छोटा सा पॉइंट है या ये स्कीम्स के एग्जांपल्स के साथ they can ask you the questions, ठीक है. So we have to prepare very well, right? Now MSMEs are very very important areas, ठीक है. So basically if you talk about the Indian economy, so we have very important role from the MSMEs, ठीक है. MSMEs का बहुत बड़ा contribution है, ठीक है, as a like one of the fastest growing economy, manufacturing which is contributing very well in the overall GDP आपका, ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे MSMEs का role is very important and government is coming with so many initiatives आपका, वो PLI से related हो या others हो, ठीक है, to facilitate these particular this particular areas and all, ठीक है. And even we do have RBI guidelines also, and there is recently during the budgetary announcement of 2025-26 they changed the definition of MSME also, ठीक है. So this can be your point and this is your new definition, ठीक है. So when it comes to the MSME definition, so now the new definition is आपका, this is the old one, ठीक है. So this is आपका means this was for 24-25, ठीक है, old means आपका till 24-25, ठीक है, and this is आपका 25-26 post budget आपका, ठीक है. So these are earlier basically these are generally categorized on the basis of investment and turnover. Now they have changed this one, micro enterprise up to earlier investment was 1 crore, now it is आपका 2.5 crores, ठीक है. Turnover earlier it was 5 crore, now it is आपका 10 crore, ठीक है. In case of small enterprises, investment 110 crores, now it is 25 crores आपका. Then the next one is आपका overall turnover is 100 crores. Medium enterprises earlier it was 50 crores, now it is 125 crores, and the turnover is आपका 500 crores, ठीक है. So when we define MSME, ठीक है, so आपका so for that particular one the classification will be based on this particular, that means there will be more and more companies which will fall under this particular category, ठीक है. एक ऐसी कंपनी जिसके अंदर 125 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट है, ठीक है. So that will be आपका part of medium enterprises, so they can also avail some benefit from the governments आपका. या if someone like जहाँ पे investment is up to 2.5 crores and आपका turnover is up to 10 crores, so they'll fall under this particular category. That means they are going to avail the benefits under PLI or any other scheme also, ठीक है. So this definition or the changes is again very important one, so please do remember this one, ठीक है. This can help you in your upcoming examination. Now next one, interest rate on advances, ठीक है. So RBI guidelines on interest rate on advances, ठीक है. So as per the master direction आपका 4 September 2019 where we switch to external benchmark link आपका external benchmark based lending rate, like 2016 2010 we come up with the base rate, then आपका 2016 MCLR, then we switch to MCLR to आपका external benchmark lending rate, ठीक है. So now at present we have MCLR as well as आपका external benchmark lending rate, ठीक है. Both we use in different areas. Understanding those particular areas is very very important, ठीक है. So as per RBI Master Direction, 4th September 2019, bank must follow specific guidelines for pricing interest rate on advances. The focus is on improving the transparency and better transmission of monetary policy. So RBI's recommendation आपका internal benchmark, which is MCLR, marginal cost of fund based lending rate, ठीक है, have an effective transmitted the monetary policy. RBI recommended switching to external benchmark based lending rate system, and which become effective from 1st October 2019. 1st October 2019, this was the date. General guidelines: bank must charge interest on RBI direction. A bank should have board approval policy for interest rate on advances, for any kind of advances. From it is mentioned here also, 1st April to October 2019, floating rates to individual and MSMEs must be linked with the आपका this and आपका external benchmark lending rate आपका, ठीक है. So this is the one, correct है. तो please do remember these date आपका या other categories and all. External benchmark lending rate for loans, MCLR continue unless the bank opt to EBLR. Okay. So EBLR, basically this is the kind of continuation of this particular statement. Okay. Linked to an EBLR. Okay. EBLR. For other loans, MCLR continue until bank opt for the EBLR. Okay. So apart from this floating, जैसे यहाँ पे we have floating rate loans which are generally linked with the EBLR. ठीक है, floating rate loan like in case of home loan, let's say that home loan is linked with the repo rate. ठीक है, so as repo rate change आपका there will be a changes in EBLR also. ठीक है, but earlier we were having some sort of issues with the MCLR things. तो वहाँ पे direct linkage को build करने में there was some आपका technical difficulties. So we come up with this one and we link all floating rate with the EBLR. And apart from that, we are using that same MCLR itself, especially for the fixed rate. But nowadays, bank they can use for fixed rate as well as for floating rate EBLR system. So bank can offer both fixed and floating rate loan. Fixed rate loan beyond 3 years must meet or exceed the benchmark rate for the that term. Interest on small value personal loan must reflect actual cost and reasonable return. Foreign currency loan interest rate must be linked to market determined external benchmark. This ensure better transparency, accountability and alignment with the market based rates आपका. So that is the one. So MCLR आपका, MCLR. So maximum like nowadays itself we use MCLR, बहुत जगह पर आपका इसको यूज किया था, स्पेशली आपका फिक्स रेट के अंदर. So MCLR is a benchmark interest rate system introduced by RBI to improve the transparency in the loan pricing by bank. It ensure loan rate are aligned with the bank cost of fund. Earlier we used to have BPLR, benchmark prime lending rate or base rate. वहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम क्या था कि रेट they generally get fixed for the 3 years आपका, ठीक है. And 3 year is nowadays like we are living in a dynamic era. So every day there are some sort of changes in the economies or even आपका regular basis पे even RBI itself they change monetary policy आपका in a frequency basis, sometimes they increase decrease and all. ठीक है, तो कहीं ना कहीं आपका जो problems हो रही थी बैंक they are like it was challenging for bank itself कि how to adjust things आपका, especially how to manage their cost of funds and all. ठीक है, so for that sake we come up with MCLR which include marginal cost of fund, cost of new borrowing and return on net worth, negative carry on a CRR, loss due to no return on CRR. So basically we used to calculate this one, require CRR into marginal cost divide by 1 minus CRR. Operating cost आपका, cost of offering and servicing loans and tenure premium आपका, cost of lending for longer duration, uniform for each loan tenure type आपका. ठीक है, so this was the basic areas or components of your आपका MCLR. ठीक है, so calculation of MCLR is generally based on marginal cost of fund, negative carry on CRR and operational cost. So these are the key component which we generally use while we calculate the MCLR thing. Bank must publish MCLR for the following maturities आपका ओवरनाइट, 1 month, 3 months, आपका 6 months एंड 1 year, ठीक है। तो दे शुड बी पब्लिश ऑन बैंक वेबसाइट इटसेल्फ, ठीक है। तो ये बैंक के वेबसाइट पे हमें जो रेगुलर इंटरवल पे विच वी हैव टू आपका पब्लिश, एंड द कैलकुलेशन आपका विच इज जनरली लिंक विद दीज 3 component, और which is generally done on the basis of these 3 components, ठीक है, and we use this particular one so we can manage those particular things, ठीक है। Now the next thing, or I guess this is the final things which is part of your unit 17, ठीक है, that is something related to NPAs and their provisioning, ठीक है। So I hope NPA वाला portion सबने आपका बहुत बार स्टडी किया होगा, and even in BFM subject also we discuss NPAs in आपका डिटेल, ठीक है। तो वो चीज़ देखो, ये चीज़ें जो लिंक चीज़ें हैं ना, वहाँ पे आपको अपना टाइम बचाना है, ठीक है। सो एनपीए क्या होता है, व्हाट इज द एसेट क्लासिफिकेशन, व्हाट इज द प्रोविजनिंग, दैट रिमेन सेम। बीएफएम के अंदर इट इज इन मोर डिटेल, सो दैट टॉपिक इफ यू आर कवरिंग दैट वन, दीज थिंग्स विल ऑटोमेटिकली कवर। जैसे व्हाट was the overall आपका content given in this particular, I'll give you a quick summary. So first they have given the SMA account, ठीक है, special mention account, and we have 3 categories, ठीक है, as per the RBI classification: SMA 0, 1 to 30 days, then आपका 31 to 60 days, SMA 1, SMA 2 is आपका 61 to 90 days, ठीक है। And after that we generally declare that particular asset as a non-performing asset. In non-performing asset we have 3 categories आपका, ठीक है। These are basically NPA, आपका doubtful substandard asset, we have doubtful asset, and we have loss asset. For the calculation for the provisioning purpose, we have 3 categories of doubtful asset: doubtful 1, doubtful 2, doubtful 3, and the sorry, and the provisioning for all these 3 categories is something आपका 25%, 40%, 100% for the secured portion. For unsecured portion it is unsecured portion it become 100%, ठीक है। So classification, provisioning आपका we have to do provisioning for the standard asset also, ठीक है। So asset classification for standard asset I'll just show you, ठीक है, and this is about the your NPAs. Substandard asset आपका up to 6 month or up to 1 years, it is 15% in case of your secured portion. For unsecured portion आपका for this it is 25%, ठीक है। So this is the case आपका, ठीक है। So unsecured portion 25% plus 10%, and here it is आपका 15%. If you go in detail, 6 month आपका 15, but after 6 month it is generally categorized under your 25%, ठीक है। So this is something आपका substandard asset secured, where we have some sort of areas कि like that asset is remain NPA for 1 years, that is आपका substandard asset, ठीक है। तो अभी वो NPA हुए 1 साल तक आपका इस कैटेगरी के अंदर है, तो that is generally categorized as a substandard asset, ठीक है। Substandard asset unsecured unsecured आपका if it comes to the unsecured one, ठीक है। So up to 6 month आपका 25%, ठीक है, and it is आपका then other than infrastructure loan, ठीक है। See, I miss one thing, ठीक है। Substandard secured आपका period, this is the time duration, and this is the normal provisioning, ठीक है। Your 15% for secured portion. Accelerated provisioning आपका we go to आपका 25%, ठीक है। For unsecured up to 6 month it is your 25%, ठीक है। But in case of infrastructure loan it is 25 it is 20% up to 6 month. Above 6 month it is 25%, ठीक है। Then other than infrastructure loan आपका 20% in all, and here it is if it is आपका if we talk about the accelerated provisioning, so it become आपका 40%, ठीक है। Doubtful category 1 after becoming NPA, after crossing that line of substandard asset, it will be shifted in doubtful 1, then doubtful 2, doubtful 3, ठीक है। In case of your unsecured loan it is 100%, but in case of secured loan, second years of default, 25%, and then we have your second in case of secured portion आपका 25%, unsecured आपका 100%, doubtful 2 आपका 3 and 4 years 40%, unsecured 100, एंड इट इज आपका 100, ठीक है. इन केस ऑफ डाउटफुल 3 आपका 5th ईयर ऑनवर्ड्स इट इज 100%, ठीक है. So this is secured portion, even it become 100%. And in case of loss asset, the third category of NPAs or the final category, where first of all that loan should be written off from the books. पहले तो हमें अगर कोई ऐसा doubtful में loss में आता है, तो we generally write off those particular loan. We make a dent on our balance sheet and we clear those particular one with like after writing off those particular. For any purpose, if we are keeping those particular loan in our books, so we have to create a provisioning of 100%. Okay? So guys, this is very important one. This is going to help you in your BFM also, and even in BFM itself we have discussed these particular thing in detail. So please go through those particular, you will automatically get this one. So they have given a further bifurcation of infrastructure or non-infrastructure. So this also help you. ठीक है, तो आपको case studies मिलेंगे and for those to solve those particular case studies, उनको आसानी से solve किया जा सकता है if you know these particular areas आपका. ठीक है. Now what are the asset classification and all that we have discussed. Now the next thing, provisioning for standard asset. ठीक है. So provisioning for standard asset आपका, so bank are required to make a general provision for standard asset at own this one. ठीक है. So basically the basic guidelines are basically farm credit आपका to agriculture 0.25%. ठीक है. These are the standard asset. ठीक है, जहाँ पे we are getting regular income or regular AMIs from the customer, but still we have to make some sort of provisioning in case of that loan is given in the field of agriculture farm credit. So you have to make a provision of 0.25%. again. In case of आपका commercial real estate, it is 1%. again. In case of commercial real estate, residential housing 0.75%. again, 0.75%. Housing loan extended at teaser rate 2% initially. Then provisioning on these asset would be revert to 0.40% after 1 year. For first year it is आपका 2%. Then gradually it will decrease to आपका 0.40%. ठीक है. Restructured advances 5% आपका. ठीक है. Restructured advances as stipulated in the prudential norms of the structuring of advances, and they will be requiring 5%. ठीक है. So bank areas of this, and they will be requiring, they just generally categorize under the substandard asset and they require provisioning of 5%. ठीक है. All other loans, ठीक है, all other means apart from these, they are generally categorized under आपका the provisioning requirement for all others apart from these given datas and all, it is 0.40%. ठीक है. So now the only challenge is कि you have to memorize these particular things, and this is the portion what I जहाँ पे I'll recommend कि just go through the areas, just try to build your understanding, solve some case studies and all. उनके through you will be able to recall these particular things. Alright guys, चलो next one. Asset classification, there are some key pointers which I have mentioned here, so you can quickly go through these particular one and they'll help you out. Okay, so we have already discussed all these points. Okay, so loss must be written off आपका और 100% provision. ठीक है, loss asset, doubtful asset 100% provisioning is required for unsecured part. Provisioning 100% of secured portion in case of doubtful more than 3 years. Substandard unstructured exposure required 25% provisioning. Infrastructure loan with escrow mechanism आपका only 20%, which we discussed recently. ठीक है. Realizable value is less than 10%. ठीक है. The exposure is unsecured. At 15% it is considered secured आपका. ठीक है. Home loans आपका, ठीक है, it is 0.50%. Restructured advances 0.5%. And teaser rate आपका initially 2%. After 1 year they came down to 0.40%. ठीक है. So this is the overall your आपका, this is all about your unit 1. ठीक है. Fair practices code are there. Fair practices code regarding the banking things. ठीक है. So application for loan and their processing. RBI issue guidelines on fair practices code for lending. ठीक है. These are to be compulsorily followed by all banks. ठीक है. These guidelines are related to application for loan and their processing, loan appraisal and term and condition, disbursement of loan, post disbursement, and we have general guidelines relating to discrimination based on sex, caste and religion, harassment in recovery, transfer takeovers or even आपका loan about the loan recovery agents or others timing, everything is generally mentioned under this one. Prudential guidelines regarding the interest rate disclosure और आपका term and policies disclosure and everything which generally comes under this one. ठीक है दोस्तों, चलो तो we will start our today's practice with a complete new set of question, and just after this particular session you will get one comprehensive mock for module D itself. So module A, B and C, module A, B and D mocks are already live. I hope you guys are participating in those particular one. And module C we will do just after this particular one. Okay? And that will be open till your examination. Module C is bit important. So कहीं ना कहीं आपका unit ज़्यादा है basically. So same in the same proportion you will see the questions as well. ठीक है? So first question on your screen, guys. Which borrower's type is governed by multiple layer of state specific and central legislations depending on operational jurisdiction and nature of activity? So what will be your correct answer, and where remaining guys ask you और लोग कहाँ हैं हमारे, ठीक है? So what will be your correct answer? हाँ that Lori sir that will do tomorrow, ठीक है? I'll record that one video for the concept part आपका. For module B, I'll be doing in the morning itself. Okay? Morning will have a session around at 7 a.m. 7 to 9 it will go. Okay? And we will be covering entire units. And that remaining 3 units आपका I'll be doing one separate video. So that will be available before your tomorrow's session. ठीक है? चलो तो what will be your correct answer for this particular one? Cooperative societies आपका, ठीक है? For this we have LLP Act. For this we have usually Companies Act, and this is like LIC Act or आपका SBI Act or the different act and all. But in case of cooperative societies we have different acts. They are generally part of this particular one. So cooperatives may be subject to State Cooperative Societies Act, multiple State Cooperative Societies Act, or both, depending on the on whether they operate in one or multiple states. Their legal framework is more fragmented compared to entities governed by the universal central laws and all. Okay? Chalo, next question. A bank issue a performance guarantee on behalf of a contractor to government departments. Which of the following best describe the nature and potential risk of this arrangement? What will be your right answer? Complete new question taken. So what we have practiced unit wise, the statement based question and all. But now one another set आपका, where we will be practicing आपका another set of unit wise question and all. Jaspreet sir, very good evening. A very good evening to all of you guys. So what will be a correct answer? A bank issue a performance guarantee on behalf of a contractor to a government departments. So what will be your correct answer? In which type of facility it will be categorized? First of all, it is a non-fund based service आपका. So non-fund based आपका, non-fund based with no possibility of financial liability. No, there is contingent liability which may be converted into a financial obligation upon invocation. So what will be your correct answer? D must be right answer for this particular one. Okay? So these are generally financial guarantees are generally part of, they are generally contingent in nature. Okay? And their occurrence may or may not. So these kind of things like LC or others non-fund services, they can be part of that particular one. Okay? So a performance guarantee is non-fund based credit instruments where the bank commit to pay on behalf of the customer if certain obligations are not met. Okay? So that is the one. Next one. Which of the following would be a violation of RBI guidelines on the end use of working capital finance? So violation of RBI guidelines at the end use of working capital finance. That means there is a company who borrow money under the working capital finance section, and they are using that particular one for personal purpose or some other purposes. That is also known as diversion of funds or siphoning of funds. So what will be your correct answer? Using working capital for purpose, using sanction limit to pay salaries, using cash limit to acquire shares in an associate company. So without any doubt, C will be right answer for this one. Okay? So this generally comes under the violation norms of the RBI itself. Okay? So this is not allowed as per the RBI guidelines and all. Okay? Next one. Consider the following statement related to a priority sector lending PSL and you have to find out the correct statement. ठीक है, very easy question, basic question, just need your attention. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा attention आपको चाहिए इस question का. ठीक है, तो थोड़ा सा एक बार read out करेंगे, you will be able to answer this particular question. What will be your correct answer, guys? So loan up to 50 crores to startups as defined by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry qualify under PSL without needing a classification under the MSMEs. ठीक है, so 100% true. ठीक है, there is no issue with this particular statement. Loan to renewable energy project up to 30 crores per borrowers classify under PSL, true. Loan to farmers farmer producer companies engaged in farming are eligible under PSL up to 5 crores. This is also correct. Yeah. Bank loan up to 10 crores for setting up healthcare infrastructure in tier 1 cities. ठीक है, no, it is आपका tier 2 to tier 6 cities आपका. ठीक है, so it should be आपका tier 2 to tier 6 cities. So this is wrong. Loan given to mutual fund institutions for on lending to self-help group members for sanctioned facilities qualify under PSL social infrastructure, true. ठीक है, so 1 2 3 5 1 2 3 5. ठीक है, ऑप्शन बी, I'll go with ऑप्शन बी आपका. ठीक है, why you guys are not answering? क्यों नहीं आंसर कर पा रहे हैं दोस्तों? ठीक है, ये हमने पूरे डिटेल गाइडलाइंस भी आपका गो थ्रू किए थे इसके आपका. ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत है किसी पॉइंट में आपका, प्लीज डू लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. I'll try to help you out with that particular one. ठीक है, so the only statement wrong is here. Healthcare loan qualify under PSL only in tier 2 to tier 6 cities, not in tier 1 आपका. ठीक है, this is the as per the classification or prudential guidelines regarding the PSL. Remaining statements are correct in this particular case. Next one, for a foreign commercial bank with 15 branches, what is the maximum percentage of A and BC that can be lent specifically to export while still being counted toward the priority sector target? What will be your correct answer? बहुत ही basic question है. Everyone guys, quickly बताओ, जितना जल्दी लेके चलोगे उतना जल्दी बढ़िया रहेगा. Because 23 to 25 will definitely take time. ठीक है, that is something new for us. ठीक है, so what will be your correct answer? 32%. ठीक है, so it is, if it comes to that particular area, it is 32%. ठीक है, so a foreign bank with less than 20 branches, which overall आपका target is 40% and they do not have any subcategories in all. ठीक है, as in subcategories like we have different, like in case of a normal commercial bank like public sector bank, we have 18% for agriculture, 7.5% for weaker section, 12%, 7.5% for MSMEs, 12% for आपका weaker section, but that categories or sub-categorization does not applicable to these foreign branches less than 10 branches आपका. ठीक है, 40%, it is right. ठीक है, it is 40% आपका. ठीक है, अलका मैम, महेश सर, वेरी गुड इवनिंग. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. अप टू व्हाट लोन अमाउंट आर बैंक प्रोहिबिटेड फ्रॉम चार्जिंग any loan related or ad hoc services or inspection charges on priority sector? कितना होता है ये आपने आपका JAIIB के अंदर जरूर पढ़ा होगा. अगर JAIIB थोड़ा सा अच्छे से पढ़ा होगा तो ठीक है, क्या होगा आंसर? PPB के अंदर ही आपका था. So what will be your right answer for this one, guys? It is how much? 25,000 rupees. ठीक है, so 20, no service charges or ad hoc inspection fee should be levied on the, or even the penal interest is also not applicable up to 25,000 आपका. तो C will be right answer for this one. Next one, under the large exposure framework, when look 3 approach LTA mandatory in determining relevant counterparties आपका. ठीक है, so LTA is very important. This can be asked in your examination. ठीक है, तो कहाँ पे आपका mandatory होता है? In which case it is mandatory? Yes, हाँ, बिल्कुल सही. हाँ, तो क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर गाइस? अंडर लार्ज एक्सपोजर फ्रेमवर्क व्हेन द लुक थ्रू अप्रोच इज मैंडेटरी इन डिटरमाइनिंग आपका relevant counterparties when the total exposure to structure is less than 0.25% of tier 1 capital, when the exposure is only to the government, when a bank exposure involve collective investment undertakings or securities vehicles, when exposure exceed 20 परसेंट ऑफ टीयर वन कैपिटल आपका, ठीक है। व्हाट विल बी योर करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस वन? एनीवन हु वांट टू आंसर? यस, हाँ बिल्कुल सही अलका मैम। सो ऑप्शन सी मस्ट बी राइट आंसर। व्हेन बैंक एक्सपोजर involve collective investment undertakings or securitization vehicles आपका, ठीक है। So in that particular case LTA is mandatory, yes. So when LTA is mandatory, when bank exposure is through an intermediate structure like securitization vehicles, requiring the bank to look through the structure to identify the underlying counterparties. This ensure accurate aggregation of exposures to those ultimate borrowers or entities as well, right? Chalo, next one guys. What is the maximum exposure limit for a single non-NBFC counterparty as per RBI large exposure framework, LEF? So what will be your correct answer? क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर इसका, ठीक है। एनीवन गाइस, क्विकली थोड़ा सा तेजी से, ये हम सब पढ़ चुके हैं, ठीक है। यूनिट वाइज डिस्कशन के अंदर हमने इनको स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस या उसके अराउंड आपका काफी डिटेल में डिस्कस किया हुआ है, ठीक है। सो व्हाट विल बी योर करेक्ट आंसर? 25% ऑफ टियर वन कैपिटल, नो एक्सेप्शंस अलाउड। सो ऑप्शन सी, नहीं सॉरी 20% आपका, नॉट ऑप्शन सी, 20% शुड बी राइट आंसर, सॉरी 20% आपका, ठीक है। 20% of tier 1 capital with an addition of 5% allowed in exceptional cases आपका, ठीक है। yes, हाँ, B must be right answer for this one. very good, हाँ, I just missed this one, ठीक है। So RBI limit exposures to a single non-NBFC counterparty at 20% of the bank tier 1 capital. The board of the bank may permit extra 5% आपका, ठीक है। एक सिंगल NBFC का जो एक्सपोजर लिमिट है that is आपका 20% and 20 that 5% additional buffer is depend on the board approval policies and all, right? Next one, which of the following maturities is not mandatory for bank to publish MCLR rate? आपका बताओ, MCLR के ऊपर पूरी कहानी हमने डिस्कस की थी, ठीक है। We have discussed everything around the MCLR आपका, yes. बताओ क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर गाइस? एवरीवन क्विकली, why you guys are not answering? देखो यार, अब तो हमने इसका कॉन्सेप्ट भी पढ़ लिया है और हमने एक सेट आपका प्रैक्टिस भी कर लिया। बड़े क्वेश्चन को देख के आप लोग घबरा जाते, तो वो बड़े क्वेश्चन बहुत जरूरी है, ठीक है। बिलीव मी, 1 मार्क्स और 2 मार्क्स वाले सारे क्वेश्चन यू विल फेस फॉर 4 to 5 स्टेटमेंट्स आपका, मोस्टली एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन विल बी देयर, ठीक है। सो व्हाट विल बी योर करेक्ट आंसर? 2 ईयर MCLR इज ऑप्शनल फॉर द बैंक, ठीक है। रेस्ट आपका ओवरनाइट 6 मंथ 1 year, ठीक है, मंथली आपका, दीज आर मैंडेटरी इन नेचर, राइट। सो बैंक मस्ट पब्लिश MCLR ओवरनाइट 1 month, 3 months, 6 months and 1 year, ठीक है। पब्लिशिंग MCLR फॉर लॉन्गर मेच्योरिटी सच एज 2 year इज ऑप्शनल फॉर द बैंक आपका, ठीक है। देयर इज एज सच नो मैंडेट बाय द बैंक आपका, ठीक है। ए नहीं, आपका ओवरनाइट इज मैंडेटरी, ठीक है। MCLR का यही बेनिफिट था BPLR से जब हम MCLR में शिफ्ट हुए, ठीक है। BPLR वाज लाइक समथिंग लाइक कि for 3 years we are fixing the benchmark rate and all, ठीक है। बट यहाँ पे we come up with the आपका overnight, then we have monthly, then we have quarterly, 6 month, 1 years. These are the mandatory which bank need to publish आपका, ठीक है। चलो next one guys, consider the following statement about external benchmark based lending rate, ठीक है, EBLR. So MCLR in some cases get replaced by EBLR in July 2019 itself, ठीक है। तो वहां पे इसका रिप्लेसमेंट आपका आया था और वी हैव डिस्कस दिस पर्टिकुलर वन आल्सो इन डिटेल, ठीक है। तो अब देखो, अब पीछे नहीं हटना है, ठीक है, अब बहुत आगे निकल चुके हैं हम लोग, ठीक है। चलो, बैंक कैन लिंक देयर लैंडिंग रेट टू एनी एक्सटर्नल बेंचमार्क पब्लिश बाय FBIL बट मस्ट यूज सिंगल बेंचमार्क विद इन ईच लोन कैटेगरी, ठीक है। द क्रेडिट रिस्क प्रीमियम कंपोनेंट ऑफ द स्प्रेड कैन बी इंक्रीज for an existing borrowers without review of borrowers risk profile, ठीक है। Bank have the freedom to decide the spread over the external benchmark, but other components such as operating costs can only be revised once every in 3 years and all, ठीक है। So what will be your correct answer? Anyone who want to answer this question, ठीक है। See, these two statements are 100% right. This statement is wrong. Why this is wrong? Credit risk premium component of spread can be increased for an existing borrowers. Yes, it can be, but with with review of the borrowers risk profiling only, ठीक है। So 1 in 3 means आपका option A will be correct answer for this particular one. Very good, Srinath sir. Awesome. ठीक है. So because any increase in spread for existing borrowers must be supported by full risk profile review. Spread, I hope everybody know the spread. Let's say your BPLR is at the time when we give loan is 9%. So आपका the spread is, let's say it is 2.25%. So this is spread आपका, ठीक है. So the overall, if let's say after some time BPLR move up to 10%, so it will be आपका 10.2.25%, ठीक है. So 12.25% will be the effective rate of interest. It was आपका 11.25 at the time when we sanctioned that loan. Now this spread can be also increased आपका, ठीक है. Bank they can increase this particular one after this review profiling only आपका, ठीक है. So that is very important and necessary आपका, ठीक है. चलो next one. Which statement correctly describe the reset mechanism for loan linked to an external benchmark, ठीक है. Reset mechanism for loan linked to an external benchmark आपका, ठीक है. So what will be your correct answer, everyone? क्या होगा correct answer दोस्तों? What will be your right answer for this one? So interest rate are reset at least once in every month, every 6 months. Sorry, interest rate are reset at least once in every 3 months. ठीक है. Okay, interest rate are reset only. So what will be your correct answer? At least आपका 3 months. B must be right answer for this one. Correct है. आपका भूल गए सब लोग, ठीक है. चलो कोई बात नहीं, याद रखें, ठीक है. Loan linked to an external benchmark required interest rate to be reset at least quarterly basis, allowing the loan rate to more frequently reflect changes in the underlying benchmark rate itself. So that is the one, ठीक है. चलो next one, next question. Which of the following describe the classification of SMA 1 for term loan account? ठीक है, चलो बताओ. ये तो बहुत आसान क्वेश्चन है, everybody knows about this. चलो इसके लिए तो आंसर कर दो दोस्तों, इसके लिए तो आंसर कर दो, ये तो बहुत आसान है. थोड़ा सा आप लोगों का पार्टिसिपेशन इंटरेक्शन बहुत जरूरी है और थोड़ा सा स्पीड में आपका, ठीक है. तो क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर इसके लिए आपका? SMA 1 मींस 31 to 60 डे, ठीक है. सो ओवरड्यू अमाउंट बिटवीन 31 to 60 डे, ठीक है. SMA 0, SMA 1, SMA 2, ठीक है. 0 to 31 to 30 डे आपका SMA 1, देन आपका 31st to 60th आपका SMA 1, and SMA 2 is आपका 61st to 90 days. After that it become non-performing asset, ठीक है. So consider the following statement about RBI guidelines on non-performing assets and income recognition, ठीक है. Income recognition. So usually we have accrual basis, but when it become NPA we have to account things on cash basis, ठीक है. इनकम बेसिस, अगर इनकम रिकॉग्निशन के हम लोग बात करते हैं, ठीक है. बाकी और आप लोग जानते हैं, बहुत बेसिक है, ठीक है. So an account become NPA if interest or principal installment remain overdue for 90 days in term loan. Interest income on NPA should be recognized on accrual basis, ठीक है. For agriculture loan, overdue installment for one crop season in short duration crop is okay, one crop season for short duration crop, ठीक है. An overdraft or cash credit accounts is classified as NPA if it is marked out of order, ठीक है. Out of order. Interest overdue for 90 days from the end of quarter is a condition for classifying an NPA due to non-payments of interest and all. So what will be your correct answer for this one? Which statement is right in this particular case, ठीक है. योगेश सर very good evening, ठीक है. हमें क्या ढूंढना है? आपका करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट ढूंढना है, ठीक है. सो स्टेटमेंट 1 इज करेक्ट आपका, ठीक है. स्टेटमेंट 1 इज करेक्ट, ठीक है, विदाउट एनी डाउट. दिस इज आपका रॉन्ग. इट शुड बी आपका कैश बेसिस, ठीक है. ये क्या होना चाहिए था? आपका कैश बेसिस पे होना चाहिए, ठीक है, नॉट एक्रूल. फॉर एग्रीकल्चर आपका वन क्रॉप शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन क्रॉप क्लासिफाइड एज overdue installment for one crop season is short duration. हाँ, it can be right आपका, but ये थोड़ा सा definition गलत है, ठीक है. मतलब basically for short term duration it is 2 crop and for हाँ it should be, this is wrong आपका, ठीक है. For short term duration it is 2 crop, for long term duration आपका long crop it is आपका 1 season, ठीक है. So an overdraft आपका NPA out of order true and this is also true, ठीक है. So 145 so it should be 145 ऑप्शन गलत है क्या? 145 एक बार देख लेते हैं. ए, overdue for one crop season is short term duration classified as. ये स्टेटमेंट कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं लग रहा? ओवरड्यू फॉर वन क्रॉप सीजन is short duration crop classified as NP. No, this statement is itself wrong आपका, ठीक है, ये आपका फॉल्स होना चाहिए, ठीक है. तो देखो क्या होता है, वन क्रॉप सीजन फॉर शॉर्ट टर्म ड्यूरेशन इट इज आपका टू क्रॉप सीजन, ठीक है, एज पर माय नॉलेज, ठीक है. तो ये भी आपका गलत होना चाहिए. इसका जो करेक्ट आंसर होना चाहिए वो क्या होना चाहिए आपका? 145, ठीक है. 145 शुड बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर वन. व्हाट डू यू सजेस्ट गाइस? ठीक है, हाँ, ये क्लियर है ना सबको? ठीक है, इज दिस क्लियर टू एवरीवन? Please correct me if I'm wrong, ठीक है, please correct me if I'm wrong, because for in case of long term crop we give one crop season, ठीक है. In case of short term duration crop it is two crop season, not the one crop season आपका, ठीक है. Loan policy of bank, so you have to find out the correct statements, ठीक है. So which of the following is a correct statement about the loan policy of bank, ठीक है. So first आपका exposure limit for a single counterparty and group of connected counterparties, ठीक है. Exposure limit fixed on the basis of risk perception of the bank has on different sectors for individuals, sector like steel, IT, banking or any other sector, cement and all, ठीक है. Discretionary power at various level for sanctioning the credit proposals. So what will be your right answer for this one? Okay. So see, whenever it comes to the loan policy or it is something related to your banking book means deposit and advances. Okay. And we have discussed these kind of similar thing in our your risk management subject also. Okay. So we talk around the ALM thing, asset liability management. So asset liability management में भी what we generally do आपका same kind of things, ठीक है. We generally avoid any sort of concentration on any specific subject and all that make this particular statement right. पहला आपका second one, exposure limit for single counterparty as well as the group borrowers, ठीक है. So like maximum loan we can give to a single individual borrowers or आपका group borrowers, that is also defined as per the loan policy. True. Exposure limit fixed on the basis of the risk perception the bank has on different sectors, so we avoid any sort of concentration in our banking book. And discretionary power at various level for sanctioning, so we have the limits and everything, like each and every, like let's say branch manager can sanction up to this amount of loans or the other persons and also, and they do have these sanctioning powers and all, so that make all the statements of this particular one are correct. So bank loan policy outline the framework for evaluating and sanctioning credit proposals. It's shaped by market condition, competitors policy and bank SWOT analysis, strength, weakness and opportunities and threat. RBI guide and RBI guidelines also. So we have to like there should be adherence of RBI guidelines also. That is kind of a must thing, right? So that is the very first one. So key component which include setting exposure limit for individual client as well as group, sector exposures, this we discussed, and granting discretionary power at various level for loan sanctioning, including provision for overdraft and ad hoc limit also. So this question I have designed based on this particular one, which is part of your book itself. Everything I'll come up with any things that will be part of your course content, that I'll make sure ki haan, you guys are not going to waste your any time and all. And time is very precious for all of us. And guys, see, we have first paper on first, and I'll be there for, like, I'll definitely speed up things just after the JAIIB things. I only request for that much of patience, and rest things you can leave on me, right? So Rainbow is here. Rainbow, so it's not C, it's D. All the statements were correct. If you go for this particular one also, again, you'll find the same things which are generally part of this one. All right. So each bank they have to formulate their own loan policies and all. So that we have discussed. Credit proposals to be within the framework of his policy. Formulation of loan policy is influenced by various factors. This we discuss. Exposure limit fixed on the basis of risk perception to avoid any kind of concentration in all. This we have also discussed during the BFM classes and all, and discretionary power at various level for sanctioning of credit proposals as we have in our branches itself. The next question on your screen, guys. Question level will be bit heavy. I just want कि like if you'll prepare for the tougher level, तो आसानी जो easy वाले हैं वो आपका आसानी से cover हो जाएंगे, ठीक है. So which of the following statement about the principle of lending is are correct? So principle of lending, we have 6 core principle of lending, and we have 7 C's of credit. So we are going to discuss that particular part with the help of this particular question. So first, safety is the most important principle of lending, ensuring that the money lent is secured and will be repaid. Seems very correct. बिल्कुल सही है आपका, ठीक है. Safety is utmost priority, ठीक है. So liquidity focus on ensuring that the money lent is tied up for long term period to maximize the return, ठीक है. So no, ठीक है. Whenever it comes to the liquidity means easily converted into cash or converted into cash. So to manage liquidity position, like it is how we will deal with our short-term debt obligations or for our working capital requirements and all. So we have some obligations that those deposit which we have taken from the आपका customers. So we have to return them. So the bank, they have some sort of obligation on that particular one. So how timely, or like it is, we have 2 goals. I hope you remember: solvency and liquidity. If it comes to the solvency, obviously every bank want to achieve आपका solvency as well as liquidity. Solvency, which is something linked with the profitability things. And if it comes choices between 2, solvency and liquidity, you have to adopt liquidity. So yeah, managing liquidity is more important, because if you ignore this particular part, it is going to damage in the image of the bank and other areas also. ठीक है. तो अगर कस्टमर का पैसा वापस नहीं कर पाएंगे, obviously they'll escalate that particular one and it is going to make a huge loss. So now, if you will tied up your money in long term, how you'll repay that particular? It is something like we are having some sort of maturity gap. We have borrowed money and we have lended that particular one for the long term period. So that is something which we'll not refer in this particular case. Profitability is an essential principle, ensuring that bank earn a fair return to pay the dividend to stakeholders or the other thing also. So we have to make a balance between solvency as well as liquidity. That is the end goal of ALM, asset liability management and all. Diversification of risk means that bank should concentrate its lending to one borrowers for better control over payments. This is completely wrong. So when it comes to the diversification, it is your portfolio should reflect something like this. There is no concentration funding side as well as asset side, right? If your portfolio is something like this, let's say it is your sources of funds or it is your asset portfolio. So we have, let's say we have given maximum loan to IT sector. If something happened bad with this IT sector, your bank is going to make a huge losses. So ये जो ऐसे concentration है, these should be avoided. And it is not about one, it is about the mix आपका portfolio things and all. So that is wrong. Security is only considered as a backup in case of default and should not be sole consideration when judging a loan. Security is only considered a backup. Yes, बिल्कुल सही. For default, it is a backup. It is not the only point on the basis of that particular backup we are granting that loan or we are making the decision. There are other factors also. So this also correct. So what we have to find out correct statement means 135. 135 means option C should be right answer for this particular question. ठीक है, Rainbow sir, another. हाँ, my request to all of you, थोड़ा सा interaction कीजिएगा, ठीक है. Then only there is the advantages of these live classes ना. Otherwise, what I'll do, I'll record these things, I'll provide in the आपका recording format. ठीक है. So statement 2 is incorrect because liquidity required the money to be accessible. ठीक है. 4-1 was incorrect because diversification of risk aimed at avoid the concentration risk and all. Okay. In this particular topic, we will be talking around the आपका loan, credit appraisals, policies and PSL things, आपका loan under loan categories, and we have MCLR and BPLR. Then we have NPAs. So this is the kind of an overview to your entire module. So they have included some portion, different type of borrowers और आपका these different categories and all. ठीक है, if you go through your book also, so you'll see these particular things. ठीक है, so we have, if it comes to the cardinal principle of lending, it includes safety, liquidity, profitability, purpose, diversification of risk and security. ठीक है, these are the areas, and we generally follow 7 C's of credit. ठीक है, character, willingness and integrity of the borrower's capacity, ability to generate income and repay, capital, borrower's own investment, collaterals, आपका condition, credit worthiness and cash flows आपका. So they generally comes under this one. Understood? चलो next question guys. Which of the following statement is true regarding credit facilities? Yeah. Very easy question. We have fund based, we have non-fund based. So this is something around that particular one itself. So fund based credit facilities involve the outflow of funds from the bank to customers. 100% true. Non-fund based credit facilities include term loan and overdraft. No, this is wrong. Non-fund based are basically guarantee provided by bank. They are contingent in nature, right? So it can be आपका LC or आपका any other sort of guarantee which is provided by the bank, and they are generally part of balance sheet exposures आपका. ठीक है, तो ये हमने ये कुछ चीजें आपको जो थोड़ा बहुत लिंक भी करनी होंगी फ्रॉम BFM और अदर सब्जेक्ट ऑल्सो. ठीक है, then retail loan are usually for individual customer, and home loans, these are the one. True. Commerce, different type of borrowers or their loan categories. There is one subtopic which is part of this. Commercial loan are generally smaller. No, they are bigger at the nature. Working capital loans are typically repayable on demand and classified as current asset in the bank balance. Term loan are generally for medium to long term period and are used for acquiring assets. And operating cycle refer to the time takes for a company to turn inventories into cash. ठीक है, 100% true. ठीक है, so 1 3 5 6 7 1 3 5 6 7 means option A should be right answer for this particular one. ठीक है, बताइए, थोड़ा इंटरेक्ट कीजिए. ठीक है, कोई डाउट है तो पूछिए आप लोग. ठीक है, so statement 2 is incorrect. Non fund based credit facilities include bank guarantee, letter of credit, आपका and acceptance of facilities. Statement 4 is incorrect because commercial loan are typically for larger amount and require more attention for the assessment and monitoring. Okay, so that is the one. Fund based, non-fund based things which are generally part of this one. Next one guys. Which of the following statement are correct about non-fund based facilities? So non-fund based facilities involve an immediate outflow of funds. No, there is no outflow of funds first of all. At least it is not immediate. It is on the basis of the occurrence of that particular contingency. That means, let's say we have provided some sort of guarantee, like we have issued, we are opening bank for LC in any case or for any export, importers. If that importer do some sort of default and all in that particular situation, that like that there will be a cash flow, otherwise there will be no cash flow. ठीक है, तो पहली चीज आपका bank guarantees a facility where the bank undertake the discharge the liability of the borrowers to the third party. ठीक है, letter of credit is non-fund based facility where the bank guarantee the payment of the seller's good immediately. ठीक है, letter of credit is a non-fund based facility where the bank guarantee the payments of the seller's good immediately. No, it is not. It is आपका not immediately actually. Sorry, it is not immediately. कैसे होता है आपका LC में payment? This we have discussed in our BFM also. No, there is one complete unit और मैंने कल परसों में आपको कराया था. There is आपका it is not immediately. It is at the time of like when there is a sale agreements between buyer and seller. We are not going to make the payment. It payment has after the disbursement of goods and all. So after bill of lading and everything. So it can be two type आपका usance and demand. If it is demand, so at the time of when we'll receive, buyer will receive those particular good. If it is usance, it is mentioned in a future date after 30 days, 60 days or 90 days and all. So that makes this statement wrong. Underwriting and credit guarantee are declining due to the advent of merchant banking. True, merchant banking this is the core business of merchant banking. The derivative product offered by bank provide non-fund based credit support to the customers, allowing to hedge risk. Performance guarantee and financial guarantee are primarily used to secure capital goods and long-term things and all. So what should be your right answer? आपका 2 then we have this statement 6 is wrong, I guess. ठीक है, if you go with the options आपका, ठीक है. So performance guarantee and financial guarantee are primarily used to secure capital goods in long term. ठीक है, it is something related to working capital and all. ठीक है, so आपका 245, ठीक है, 245 B should be right answer for this one. ठीक है, so we'll cross check this one. As performance and financial guarantee are usually related to working capital need. Because these are related to working capital need, not related to the capital requirements of that particular bank itself. Okay, rest statements are clear, guys. So statement 1 was incorrect. Non-fund facilities do not involve the immediate cash outflow. Third one is incorrect. Letter of credit guarantee the payments of the seller's good upon the presentation of documentation. And after that also, after the presentation of documentation, it can be आपका usance or it can be demand. Okay, if it is demand, so that same time at the time of presentation of documentation, if it is usance, it will be after the defined date of period or whatever the date is mentioned on that particular one. Okay, next one. Consider the following statement regarding credit appraisal and credit risk assessment. Okay, credit appraisal and credit risk assessment. Okay, this is something when we'll come to the fourth or fifth topic of this particular module. So they have entire there is one entire the entire process of credit management and all that generally comes under this one. Okay, chalo, हाँ, at least Rainbow Sir is trying to answer these things and all. Very good, appreciate. Chalo. So credit appraisal primarily focus on verification of submitted document. It is not only about the verification things आपका, ठीक है, it is much more than the verification. ठीक है, the evaluation of project and all, ठीक है, testing some sort of like risk involved in those particular project or that type of industry or the company and all, business risk and everything, ठीक है, financial risk. So first one is wrong. ठीक है. Now the shift in modern credit appraisal focus more measuring inherent credit risk rather than the subjective judgment. ठीक है, it can be, ठीक है, statement 2 आपका, ठीक है. Next one, मतलब it is right. ठीक है. Field verification help assess the management quality and operational level of the applicant. ठीक है. Let's say if some company they approaches us for the loan, ठीक है, so we do the field visit आपका कि भैया, even in home loan also we visit the house or the property and all. ठीक है, तो वो सारी चीजें आपका, जैसे अगर कोई प्रोजेक्ट लोन ले रहा है तो कहाँ पे वो प्रोजेक्ट स्टेब्लिश होगा एंड एवरीथिंग वी जनरली चेक इन दिस वन. ठीक है, क्रेडिट रिस्क कैन अराइज ड्यू टू बोथ इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर. ट्रू, बिल्कुल हो सकता है आपका. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वन. A borrower credit proposal will always be accepted if documents are in order. It is not, there is nothing called always. So it is not only based on the documentation things and all, it is also depend on the business risk or the category risk and all. So I'll not go for this one. Credit risk rating model involve assessing score to various risk component to assess overall credit worthiness. ठीक है, true. आपका CRAs, credit rating agencies आपका, they generally provide these one and they generally provide in आपका alphabet like BBB plus और आपका AAA plus or AA and all these kind of thing. ठीक है, credit proposal may be rejected if it violate the bank credit policy even with a good credit ratings. Yes, it can be. ठीक है, तो आपका सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ, सिक्स, सेवन, सेकंड ये दो तो आपके एलिमिनेट हो जाते हैं. सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर आपका बी शुड बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर वन. करेक्ट है? यस, हाँ, एवरीवन. और बाकी के लोग भी थोड़ा सा ट्राई कीजिए आंसर करने का. ठीक है, so you guys only ask me कि sir come up with some good level of question and all. ठीक है, now these are the good level question I guess. ठीक है, and what I'm trying to do basically कि like जो भी आपका content दिया गया है, ठीक है, so we can have some sort of complete coverage of that particular. Sometime for that sake I have to create 6 statement and 7 statement. Though you all know कि they are not going to give you 6 or 7 statement, they'll give you 4 to 5 statements max to max. ठीक है, then they'll ask you to find out the right and wrong things. But see, with this kind of things, what we can achieve, at least with the revision part and all, you can have a better learning with this particular one. ठीक है दोस्तों, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Consider the following statement regarding the evaluation and applicability of priority sector lending guidelines in India. ठीक है, PSL आपका. ठीक है, so it is a kind of RBI guidelines regarding the credit things and all. ठीक है, that is the topic आपका. And इट इज पार्ट ऑफ योर फर्स्ट टॉपिक इटसेल्फ. उन्होंने वहां पे इसका ओवरव्यू दिया हुआ है, एलोकेशन एंड एवरीथिंग इज जनरली गिवन इन दिस पर्टिकुलर वन. ठीक है, सो आई एम नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग विच इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ योर करिकुलम. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि जबरदस्ती डाल रखा है एंड ऑल, ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं लगेगा आपको. इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट प्लीज गो थ्रू योर बुक्स, यू विल सी दी स्टेटमेंट ऑल्सो आपको वहां पे मिल जाएंगे. ठीक है, so the formalization of priority sector in 1972 was based on the recommendations by an informal study group constituted by RBI in May 1971. The 1980s PSL directive required commercial bank to immediate allocation. No. Allocate of 40% of this one. No, it was in phase manner first of all, and it become effective from 1985. आपका ये आपका यहाँ से नहीं बल्कि 1985 onwards it become the आपका 40% वाला guidelines. ठीक है, तो let's make this wrong. Sub target for weaker section in agriculture were introduced in 1980 directives. This is right. The revised master direction on PSL September 2020 apply uniformly to all banking institution, including salary earner banks. No, salary earners bank are not part of this one. ठीक है, सैलरी अर्नर्स बैंक आर लाइक दीज आर मोस्टली आपका कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स एंड ऑल, जो सैलरी मैनेजमेंट को ही आपका देख रहे होते हैं. ठीक है, एंड दे आर नॉट पार्ट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी. रॉन्ग. अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स एक्सेप्ट सैलरी अर्नर बैंक्स आर इंक्लूडेड विद इन द स्कोप ऑफ 2020 PSL master direction. Yes, and from financial year 2025 2026 onwards, again we have increased their target in phase manner. Now they come under the 75% range. Okay, earlier they were 40%, then we slightly increased their our contribution to priority sector, and from this financial year onwards they'll be giving 75% of their overall credit to the priority sector. Okay, तो आपका सर इज सेइंग ऑप्शन ए 135. yes, ऑप्शन ए शुड बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर. वेरी गुड, ऑसम. ठीक है, सो इनकरेक्ट आपका इट केम्स बिकम 85. ठीक है, इनकरेक्ट आपका इट डज नॉट अप्लाई टू सैलरी अर्नर्स बैंक. ठीक है, so these two statements were incorrect, rest all are correct in this particular one. One more question. Consider the following statement about the PSL norms and target and identify the correct one. ठीक है, so you have to go through the statement about the PSL. ठीक है, priority sector lending के अराउंड जो गाइडलाइंस हैं वो आपको, and you have to find out the correct statement. ठीक है, चलो एक बार इसको देखिए. अब now we have some sort of discussion on this. तो एक बार थोड़ा सा रीड आउट करने का हैबिट बिल्ड करें, बस यही मैं आप लोगों से चाहता हूँ. बहुत बेसिक है ये. रेनबो सर, व्हाट इज योर नेम? आप नाम बता दीजिए क्योंकि हमारा साथ आप लंबा चलने वाला है, एटलीस्ट 1 महीने तक. ठीक है, सो डोमेस्टिक कमर्शियल बैंक एंड फॉरेन कमर्शियल बैंक with 20 or more branches have PSL target of 40% of ANBC and COB, whichever is higher, without any doubt true. Foreign bank with less than 20 branches have a PSL target of 75%. ठीक है, no आपका 40%, but they have some sort of like agriculture and other target, they do not have those particular targets. जो सब कैटेगरीज आपके हैं वहां पे इनके टारगेट नहीं होते हैं. ठीक है, so this is wrong. RRBs must achieve PSL target of 75%. True. All bank have uniform agriculture lending target of 18% of ANBC or CO, out of which 10% should go to small and marginal farmers. What do you say about this particular statement, guys? Anyone who want to answer this particular one? ठीक है, तो क्या है आपका ये बिल्कुल 100% ट्रू है. ठीक है, अगर नहीं पता है ध्यान रखें. माइक्रो एंटरप्राइज लैंडिंग target for eligible banks is 7.5% of this particular one. Yeah, whichever is higher. RRBs are sub target of 15% of this to weaker section. ठीक है, true. For other it is 12%. ठीक है, आपका for commercial bank आपका this category, or even is for small finance bank it is आपका 12%. Small finance bank overall target is 75%. ठीक है, so what will be your correct answer? आपका 1 3 4 5 6. ठीक है, 1 3 4 5 6. ऑप्शन बी शुड बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस वन. वेरी गुड. हाँ, सुगनति सर, ओके ओके, चलो. सो ऑप्शन बी आपका, दिस इज ओनली द स्टेटमेंट वाज रॉन्ग इज आपका 40% नॉट 75%. वन मोर क्वेश्चन. चलो, consider the following statement regarding the adjustment for weight adjustment of weight in priority sector achievements, ठीक है. हाँ, this comes to your branches also, ठीक है. होता है ना ब्रांच वाइज आपका टारगेट एंड ऑल, ठीक है. आई होप एवरीबडी इज अवेयर अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर वन, ठीक है. सो what is the target under this particular one, ठीक है. This is something related to our day to day working and all, ठीक है. So what will be your correct answer, and it is easy, ठीक है. This आपका district with lower per capita credit less than 6,000 is 6,000 rupees are given a weightage of 125%, ठीक है. District with higher per capita more than 25,000 given a weightage of 90%. All are correct. The weightage framework apply equally to all banks? No, it does not apply equally, ठीक है. So आपका excluding this, ठीक है. So this 1 and 2 आपका A should be right answer for this particular one, ठीक है. RRBs use आपका urban cooperative banks, local area banks and foreign banks आपका including wholly owned subsidiaries are excluded from this particular framework, ठीक है. They are excluded from this particular framework आपका, ठीक है. So weight in priority sector, and these are the categories which are not part of this one. It applies to others also. So please do remember this. I'll make sure you'll have a very great learnings, ठीक है. चलो next one. Which of the following statement regarding the agriculture category under PSL are correct? This is very easy one. बताओ क्या होगा correct answer guys? थोड़ा सा इंटरेक्ट कीजिए यार प्लीज, ठीक है. सो थोड़ा सा आप लोग इंटरेक्ट करेंगे तो बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, ठीक है. एंड आई एम डूइंग रियली हार्ड वर्क फॉर दिस कंटेंट थिंग्स एंड ऑल, ठीक है. और JIIB वाले लोग भी अभी थोड़ा सा हैं लाइक परेशान कि अभी दे आर लाइक वेरी, यू गाइज आर वेरी सीरियस अबाउट थिंग्स एंड ऑल, ठीक है. वो लोग ऐसे हैं कि सर आप एक हफ्ता है आप पास करा दो कैसे भी करके, ठीक है. ऐसा थोड़ा होता है यार. बताओ एनीवन हु वांट टू आंसर दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन गाइज. आपका इजी है थोड़ा सा, ठीक है. और अगर आप देखेंगे समझ में आ जाएगा. फार्म क्रेडिट इंक्लूडेड लोन्स टू इंडिविजुअल एंड एंटिटीज इन एग्रीकल्चर एंड एलाइड एक्टिविटीज. The ceiling of agriculture infrastructure loan per borrower is 50 crores, ठीक है. It is 50 crores. What is the limit under this one, ठीक है. Not 50 crores आपका, ठीक है. कितना अमाउंट है ये आपका, ठीक है. It is आपका 100 crores आपका ओवरऑल जितना मुझे याद है, ठीक है. It is 100 crores और 500 crores, ठीक है. 50 करोड़ नहीं है, 100 और 500 crores के आसपास होगा, ठीक है. बैंक कैन लेंड NBFC एंड MNFI ऑन लैंडिंग एग्रीकल्चर, ठीक है. सो 1 and 3 आपका, ठीक है. So 1 and 3 means option B should be right answer for this one. I want to check that amount. हाँ, it is 100 crore only, ठीक है. So it is आपका the ceiling is आपका 100 crores not 50 crores आपका, ठीक है. That is the one. Next one. Which of the following statement is true about the weaker section category for the priority sector? Small and marginal farmers are eligible for priority sector loan under the weaker section category. True. Artisan and village industries with individual credit not exceeding कितना है आपका लिमिट 1 लाख, ठीक है, आर एलिजिबल, ठीक है. शेड्यूल कास्ट एंड शेड्यूल ट्राइब्स आर कंसिडर्ड एज पार्ट ऑफ वीकर सेक्शन ऑफ प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर. ओवरड्राफ्ट facilities for PMJDY accounts holders may be classified under the weaker section. Okay, anyone who want to comment on this? Beneficiaries of government sponsored scheme like National Rural Livelihood Mission are excluded. They are also included in this one. Okay? They are included under the priority sector and all. Okay? What about this statement, guys? Statement 4 आपका. Anyone who want to comment on this particular statement 4? This is right ना? This is correct आपका, ठीक है. So it should be right आपका. Overdraft facilities, हाँ. तो 134 is आपका C should be right answer for this particular one. ठीक है, C होना चाहिए आपका आंसर. चलो, so C आपका statement 2 false. Artisan and others आपका 1 lakh rupees and 5-1 आपका beneficiaries of government sponsor scheme like NRLM included in the weaker section category itself. ठीक है, next one. चलो, so there was some question around the PSL things or some subtopic around. Next time what I'll do now, first I'll deliver the concept part, ठीक है. Otherwise what challenges you'll face कि जो लोग बिल्कुल नए हैं they'll face some sort of this and that concept वाला part I'll do in recording things, ठीक है. Concept summary, ठीक है. I'll come up as I have done for the BFM subject. तो same concept summary first I'll release that concept summary, then same day or next day we will be doing these kind of practice. तो वो थोड़ा सा that will be helpful for all of you, right? So and you'll have some clarity around the keywords and all, ठीक है, of your book. चलो, next one guys. Which of the following statement regarding base rate system introduced by RBI, ठीक है. सो आपका BPLR benchmark prime lending rate, then base rate, then आपका MCLR, and base rate and MCLR they have mentioned in your आपका content area itself. So I have included question based on both. ठीक है, आसान है, आप लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा इसको कभी ना कभी. ठीक है, so base rate system replace the benchmark prime lending rate. 2010 आपका बैंक आर अलाउड टू हैव मल्टीपल. नो, दैट टाइम देयर वाज अ सिंगल बेस रेट फॉर 3 years आपका. ठीक है, दैट वाज द मेजर लूप होल. ठीक है, to price loan for a different borrower category, no. For all borrower category there is a single base rate. ठीक है, the base rate methodology could be reviewed by the bank anytime. No, it is आपका once in a 3 years. That was the major challenge. These were the major challenge actually with this base rate system. ठीक है, all rupee loan sanctioned between July 1st 2010 to 31st March 16 were be priced on the reference of base rate. After that we come up with the MCLR things. Loan to bank employee, depositor against their own deposit and DRI advances were exempted from the base rate, and even they are exempted from the MCLR thing also. ठीक है, bank could calculate cost of funds using any reasonable and transparent methodology, including average or marginal cost of fund. Base rate had to be made public and reviewed at least quarterly. ठीक है, statement 7 we have to do with this elimination things. 1 4 5 6 1 4 1 4 5 6 7. That means this is also true. So A should be right answer for this particular one. Okay, sometime see the benefit with these kind of statement based question na. Okay, let's say there are 5 statement. If you know the 4 statement, एक statement नहीं भी आता ना, apply the elimination. I hope you guys have done this thing in your JAIIB, IN, IFS and PPB subject. Yeah, so same things which will help you here also, right? Statement 2 was incorrect. It is 1 base year per bank. Yeah. And third one, base rate methodology not reviewed for at least 3 years for from the finalization. So that was the challenge आपका. ठीक है, चलो next one, MCLR. Now we'll come to the MCLR things. ठीक है, then after discussing these one, we will be discussing around आपका NPA things. Then I'll come up with one more session. ठीक है, अभी थोड़ा सा for a like till 18th आपका. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा just give me little bit time. ठीक है, so एक बार वो हो जाएगा ना JIB का final paper. Actually Disha ma'am is busy with some CMA things and all. ठीक है, then after every morning evening you'll get every content related to CAIIB itself. ठीक है, so which of the following statement regarding interest rate norms under RBI MCLR base framework are correct? अच्छा, anyone who want to comment on this particular question or answer this particular question, बताओ क्या होगा आंसर? Sugnathi and other also guys, please quickly. ठीक है, at least try आपका. ठीक है, so थोड़ा सा try जरूर करें. ठीक है, so what MCLR apply to floating rate rupee loan sanctioned and renewed from the 1st April 2016 onwards. Bank are prohibited from offering any fixed interest rate loan. No, there is as such no provision. We do provide loan on fixed rate and all, especially these personal loan and all. So this is wrong. Interest on all advances must be charged at monthly basis आपका. ठीक है, this statement is also right. ठीक है, so next one आपका monthly rest आपका, this statement right or wrong? ठीक है, this is true ना आपका. ठीक है, it is on monthly. The reference benchmark rate must be clearly mentioned in loan. Let's say repo plus, like in case of home loan they are linked with the repo rate. ठीक है, repo rate plus आपका let's say 2.5% or 2% or whatever the things. Then bank can charge penal interest even on priority sector up to, no, there is no penal interest up to 25,000. There is no penal charge आपका up to 25,000. Interest charge on small value personal loan must be justifiable based on cost and reasonable things. 100% true. 1346 1346 option C should be right answer for this one. Statement 2 was incorrect. Bank are allowed to offer both fixed and floating rate of interest. 5 आपका no penal interest should be charged for the priority sector loan up to 25,000. Right? Next one, guys. One more question based on MCLR. So MCLR, marginal cost of fund based lending rate, correct. So you have to find out the most accurate statement related to your MCLR. ठीक है, so MCLR, okay, now go through this. Now we have discussed around this particular things. आपका हमने बहुत बार इसको डिस्कस कर लिया है. बताओ क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर आपका. थोड़ा सा इंटरेक्ट करते यार बहुत अच्छा लगता है. ठीक है, इफ यू गाइज विल नॉट इंटरेक्ट ना तो थोड़ा सा ऐसा लगेगा कि लाइक इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ वन वे थिंग्स एंड ऑल. ओनली आपका सुगनथी इज इंटरेक्टिंग, रेस्ट ऑल आर वेरी साइलेंट. आपका वाई सो? डिनर का टाइम हो गया क्या? आई हैवन लाइक मेरा खुद का डिनर नहीं हुआ अभी. ठीक है, सो तो आप लोग भी थोड़ा सा अभी एक महीना मेहनत कर लेते हैं बढ़िया से प्यार से. ठीक है, एंड बिलीव मी गाइस दीज थिंग्स आर गोइंग टू हेल्प यू. तो आई विल गिव माई 100%. थोड़ा सा आप लोग भी अगर साथ देंगे तो बहुत बढ़िया हो जाएगा. ठीक है, चलो बताओ क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर आपका. एनीवन हु गॉट मोटिवेटेड विद दिस पर्टिकुलर स्पीच? नो वन. चलो, सो फर्स्ट आपका MCLR कंपोज ऑफ मार्जिनल कॉस्ट ऑफ फंड्स, negative carry on CRR, operating cost, and आपका tenure premium. This is the formula, or this is the kind of a setup how we calculate MCLR for the bank or for the loan category. Bank must publish only one MCLR for uniform application across all tenures. No, this is आपका wrong. ठीक है, ये गलत है ना आपका. ठीक है, there is no sorry, for car loans. अच्छा, what do you say about this particular statement guys? It should be wrong आपका. ठीक है, we have different for this one, otherwise it will become the base rate. MCLR must be reviewed and published by bank on a pre-announced monthly date. 100% true. ठीक है, the spread charge is like MCLR plus. ठीक है, let's say 2.5% or 1.75% and all. ठीक है, the spread charge to a borrower can be increased arbitrarily by the bank. ठीक है, this can be done by the bank. आपका arbitrarily increased by the bank. ठीक है, spread charge can be arbitrarily increased by the bank. Anyone? ठीक है, it is something, it should be linked with the risk things आपका. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि हम मनमर्जी से उसको करेंगे. ठीक है, it is based on the borrower's risk profiling and all. ठीक है, I'll not go for this one, but we will revisit this. The actual lending rate under the MCLR is determined by adding applicable spread to respective tenure linked MCLR. ठीक है, let's say if it MCLR is 9% or 6%, 6 plus 2.5, that is 8.5% true. Fixed rate a loan with a tenure above 3 years are exempted from MCLR guidelines. आपका ठीक है, बिल्कुल सही है. ठीक है आपका, so 1356 हाँ, that means this is wrong. एक बार देख लेते हैं आपका. ठीक है, A yes, so आपका थर्ड, अच्छा ओके, A that means this is wrong, means आपका 1346. ठीक है, 13 क्या है हमारा आंसर? 1356. A आपका 1356. ठीक है, so fourth statement is incorrect. Spread can only be increased if the credit risk profile आपका deteriorates. ठीक है, so it happened with some loans. ठीक है, जहाँ पे if customers credit profiling is falling, then we can do these kind of act. Otherwise it is not like specific person wise and all, it will not be. ठीक है, now the another part of this particular, this is all about the introduction. तो यहाँ पे इसलिए आपको अलग अलग टॉपिक के we are going to discuss all these topic like NPA, like आपका credit policies, RBI guidelines in detail. I have shown you the overall structure of this particular module itself. So consider the following statement regarding NPA and their definition. This is a very easy question. So an asset become NPA if interest and installment or principal remain overdue for more than 90 days in case of term loan. True. A cash credit overdraft account is treated out of order if account has no credit for 60 consecutive days. It should be 90 आपका. That means this is wrong. A loan for long duration crop become NPA if the principal or interest are overdue for 2 crop season. No, it should be 1 crop season. This is also wrong. A bill purchased and discounted is considered NPA if it remain overdue for 90 days. True. Any amount not paid on the due date fixed by the bank, it is considered overdue. True. ठीक है, बहुत इस आसान क्वेश्चन था. 145 means long term duration of what we have to find a correct statement. ठीक है, so this is correct. ठीक है, statement 2 is आपका wrong. ठीक है, statement 3 आपका wrong. 145 अच्छा ओके हाँ, option B will be right answer for this one. ठीक है, so out of order again we have 90 days not 60 days आपका. ठीक है, सो एंड थर्ड वन लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन क्रॉप आपका 1 सीजन, ठीक है, एंड फॉर शॉर्ट टर्म क्रॉप इट इज आपका 2 सीजन. सो दैट इज द वन बेसिक वन, वेरी बेसिक वन. नेक्स्ट वन, consider the following statement regarding income recognition and NPAs. ठीक है, usually we account assets or our loans on accrual basis, but when it become NPA, ठीक है, so जब आपका asset NPA बन जाता है तो उस केस में हम क्या करते हैं, आपका we account that particular one on cash basis. ठीक है, जैसे जैसे पेमेंट आएंगे then only will account, otherwise if it is standard asset we generally apply the accrual system of accounting. ठीक है, इतना पता है सबको. अब आगे पढ़ते हैं. So income from NPA is recognized on an accrual basis as per the original loan agreements too. Bank must not charge interest on any NPA including government guarantee accounts. Bank must not charge interest on any NPA. ठीक है, the statement is like kind of आपका बिल्कुल गलत स्टेटमेंट है ना आपका इसमें. ठीक है, इसमें कोई भी दुराई नहीं है हमें आपका. ठीक है, इट शुड बी आपका राइट. ठीक है, सो व्हाट वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट आपका इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. हाँ, बैंक मस्ट नॉट चार्ज, दिस इज रॉन्ग आपका. ठीक है, इंटरेस्ट ऑन एडवांसेस लाइक अगेंस्ट NSC और किसान विकास पत्र और लाइफ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसीज मे बी टेकन टू इनकम अकाउंट ऑन ड्यू डेट if adequate margin is available. ठीक है, so next statement आपका जो थर्ड है, ठीक है, that is also true. ठीक है, income from अच्छा ओके सॉरी we are going wrong. ठीक है, गलत जा रहे हैं हम लोग. गलत क्यों जा रहे हैं? ठीक है, एक बार इसको मैं सब इरेज करता हूँ अगर गड़बड़ हो जाएगा मामला. ठीक है, तो गड़बड़ क्या हुआ है, आई विल लेट यू नो. ठीक है, इनकम फ्रॉम NPA हमने जब शुरुआत किया था we did a right start. ठीक है, but we went in a wrong way. What I told you कि अकाउंटिंग व्हेन इट कम्स टू द अकाउंटिंग ऑफ एसेट, ठीक है, आपका इट इज हैपन ऑन एक्रूल बेसिस एंड NPA इट एसेट बिकम NPA इट इज ऑन कैश बेसिस. ठीक है, दिमाग हैंग होना शुरू हो गया. सो NPA है तो आपका एक्रूल नहीं होगा, इट विल बी ऑन आपका कैश बेसिस. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल पहला स्टेटमेंट जहां पे हमने आपका क्या किया था, आपका गड़बड़ किया था. ठीक है, सेकंड स्टेटमेंट आपका बैंक मस्ट नॉट चार्ज इंटरेस्ट ऑन एनी NPA इंक्लूडिंग गवर्नमेंट guarantee and all. ठीक है, this I'll keep left. ठीक है, please do comment on this statement. ठीक है, interest on advances against NSC किसान विकास पत्र may be taken to income accounts due date if adequate margin is available. ठीक है, जो थर्ड स्टेटमेंट is 100% true. ठीक है, fee and commission from rescheduling of loan must be recognized entirely upfront आपका. ठीक है, fee and commission from rescheduling of loan must be recognized. No, it is wrong ना आपका. ठीक है, it should be आपका wrong. ठीक है, ये गलत है आपका स्टेटमेंट 4. ठीक है, so what we have to do basically आपका, अगर हम इस स्टेटमेंट की तरफ आपका जाते हैं, ठीक है, so this is not a right approach आपका. what we generally do, it is at the time of आपका अगर वो NPA होता है या फिर if we provide some sort of relaxation or if there are increments and all, so this is wrong. ठीक है, accrued interest on NPA that was previously recorded must be reversed or provided for unrealized. 100% true. ठीक है, if we have done accounting like हाँ this is the accrued, हमें यहाँ से इस डेट पे EMI आती रहेंगी. let's say if we have accounted one, so we have to make a reverse entries. so that is the truth. Interest income on NPA may be taken to income account even if the recovery is made from the fresh or additional credit facilities. ठीक है, interest income on NPA may be taken to income accounts even if the recovery is made from fresh or additional credit. No, it seems wrong आपका. if it is a fresh credit, so it should not part of this particular one आपका. ठीक है, तो that means आपका income bank must आपका must not charge interest on NPA. ठीक है, this is also correct then. ठीक है, तो क्या होना चाहिए आपका आंसर, सेकंड थर्ड आपका 5 and 6 नहीं, सेकंड थर्ड एंड 5. that means statement A should be right answer. I eliminated this one with the options only. ठीक है, so yes, because बाकी के स्टेटमेंट में हम लोग कंफर्टेबल है नहीं, C है. only 1 4 6. अच्छा ओके, why 1 4 6? we have asked the wrong statement. ठीक है, these are the statement. हमने क्वेश्चन को मिस किया फिर से. आपका इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट 146. ठीक है, 146 मींस आपका हमने करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट पर टिक किया था, हमने क्या लगाना था आपका इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट, ठीक है, दैट मींस 146 आपका सी इज द राइट आंसर फॉर दिस वन। अंडरस्टूड गाइस? एनी डाउट प्लीज डू लेट मी नो, ठीक है। अच्छे इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है। इनकरेक्ट आपका एनपीए इज नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज्ड ऑन एन एक्रूल बेसिस, ये हमने डिस्कस किया था। फोर्थ आपका फी कमीशन फ्रॉम रीशेड्यूल्ड लोन आर रिकॉग्नाइज्ड ओवर एक्सटेंडेड पीरियड नॉट अपफ्रंट आपका, ठीक है। देन interest realized from NPA is taken to income only if not sourced from the fresh or additional आपका credit है, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट वन, consider the following statement regarding the computation of NPAs and advances. This is very easy one. आंसर करो, चलो एक बार थोड़ा सा आंसर करो, ट्राई करो, ठीक है, ये आसान है, ये बन जाएगा सबसे आपका, ठीक है। बताइए 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 क्या होगा, ठीक है। सो नेट एडवांसेस आर कैलकुलेटेड बाय डिडक्टिंग स्पेसिफिक आइटम लाइक प्रोविजंस एंड सस्पेंस अकाउंट फ्रॉम द ग्रॉस, ट्रू है ना। नेट एडवांसेस, लाइक आई होप यू गाइस रिमेंबर द केस ऑफ that NARCL, ठीक है। when we transfer any asset to NARCL we transfer on net advance basis, ठीक है, net asset value, that net asset value is basically आपका gross minus provision, ठीक है, that is the word, ठीक है। so provision or any suspense account, true। floating provision are excluded from net NPA computation, no, they are also part of this one, ठीक है, wrong, statement 2 is wrong। gross NPA included principal dues of NPS and funded interest term loans, spark the sundries accounts and all, true। तो 1 and 3, 1 and 3 आपका A should be right answer for this one, ठीक है। so statement 3 incorrect, floating rate are deducted while the calculating net NPS if they are not utilized toward the tier 2 capital and all, ठीक है। this was the exact आपका explanation, ठीक है। provisioning आपका, ठीक है, provisioning again given in this particular one, and see if you are good with this provisioning things ना, it will help you in multiple subject, at least 2 subject, one is ABM पहला, then second आपका BFM। BFM में like most of the time what we have seen there is a case study based on the provisioning even for the standard asset, ठीक है। तो standard asset के लिए जो provisioning requirements हैं और जो NPA के लिए आपका जो provisioning requirements है, you have to टेक केयर अराउंड दैट पर्टिकुलर वन। तो एक बार बहुत अच्छे से लर्न कर लीजिए, 2 जगह आपको ये हेल्प करने वाला है, ठीक है। एबीएम के अंदर मोस्टली यू विल सी स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन एंड ऑल, एंड बीएफएम के अंदर मोस्टली यू विल सी केस स्टडी बेस्ड ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर वन, ठीक है। बट कंटेंट विल रिमेन सेम, आरबीआई गाइडलाइंस है, इट विल रिमेन सेम एवरीवेयर, ठीक है। चलो, सो प्लीज गो थ्रू दिस पर्टिकुलर वन। लॉस एसेट मस्ट बी रिटन ऑफ or provided at the extent of 100% retained in the book. If it comes to the loss asset, it is like first they should be written off from the balance sheet, and if for any purpose if we are keeping those particular asset in our books, there should be a 100% provision for these one, ठीक है। ट्रू है पहला स्टेटमेंट आपका, किसी को कोई डाउट है इसमें? बिल्कुल भी कोई डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक है। डाउटफुल एसेट रिक्वायर 100% प्रोविजनिंग फॉर द पोर्शन ऑफ नॉट कवर्ड by the realizable security value 100%, for unsecured portion there should be 100%, ठीक है। like see if it comes to the provisioning norms of NPA, what we have आपका substandard asset कितना है आपका 15, for secured portion it is 15%, for unsecured it is how much, plus 10 means आपका 25%, ठीक है। In case of doubtful asset we have 3 categories, ठीक है। doubtful 1 it is 25% for secured, ठीक है। आपका doubtful 2 आपका 40% for secured, and doubtful 3 it is 100%, ठीक है। if it is unsecured it is 100% from here itself, ठीक है। तो ये चीज आपका you have to remember this one। apart from this if it comes to loss asset, first of all it should be written off from our books, उसको हटाना पड़ेगा। अगर if we are keeping that particular asset in our book for any purpose, then we have to make a 100% provision, क्योंकि यहीं पे 100% पहुंच चुका है, ठीक है। so that is the one। so for doubtful asset secured for more than 3 years the provisioning will be आपका 100%, ठीक है, because it will enter to doubtful 3 and the provisioning will be 100%, ठीक है। means wrong, substandard unsecured asset required 25%, substandard unsecured 25, 100% true, ठीक है। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लोन क्लासिफाइड एज सबस्टैंडर्ड रिक्वायर 20%, स्पेशल प्रोविजनिंग आपका करेक्ट है, ठीक है. Unsecured exposure where the realizable security value is 15% of the exposure are treated as secure, ठीक है. Unsecured exposure where the realizable security value is 15%, ठीक है. If it is 15%, आपका ये किस में आना चाहिए, नॉट 15%, इट शुड बी आपका, इफ इट इज आपका लेस देन इक्वल टू आपका 10%, ठीक है, लेस देन इक्वल टू 10% ओनली, सो इट विल कम. दिस इज रॉन्ग as I remember this particular one. Standard asset is commercial, standard asset in commercial real estate residential house. Standard asset, it is about the standard asset, ठीक है. आपका commercial real estate आपका 0.75%, 100% true, ठीक है. Advance restructured under RBI relief measure for natural calamities, they attract 5% आपका, 100% to आपका. Restructuring loan they आपका attract 5. Housing loan at teaser rate, initially they have 2% and gradually it come down आपका 2.40%, ठीक है. They come down to 0.40%, again true आपका, ठीक है. So now your answer 1 2 4 5 1 2 4 5 आपका 7 8 9, ऑप्शन ए ओनली शुड बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर. एक क्वेश्चन आपका, with one question you have everything around the आपका provisioning things and all, ठीक है. and if you are preparing this way there is like आपको टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है. चलो अब अगले क्वेश्चन का आंसर करेंगे. which of the following statement regarding the write off of NPAs and tax treatment are correct आपका. so written off of NPAs, ये this is not part of your introduction वाला topic, but when it will comes to the asset classification or asset areas ना, it is part of that one also, ठीक है. so anyone who want to comment on this particular one, बोलेंगे कुछ आपका guys, yes or no? नहीं बोलेंगे आज बिल्कुल भी, ठीक है. चलो so आपका first statement आपका, ठीक है. income by way of interest on bad and doubtful debt is chargeable to tax when it is credited to bank profit and losses or receive whichever is earlier. Income by way of interest on bad and doubtful asset chargeable on tax is chargeable to tax when it credited to the bank. बिल्कुल सही आपका, ठीक है. Amount set aside for provisioning of NPA are eligible for tax deduction under Income Tax Act 1961, ठीक है. This is also correct आपका, ठीक है. Sorry, amount set aside for provisioning they are not eligible आपका, ठीक है. They are not eligible, sorry guys, ठीक है, they are not eligible, ठीक है. A bank can write off advances at head office level even if the advances are still outstanding at branches. हाँ, this is true आपका, ठीक है. This is true and this is wrong, ठीक है. Next one, bank are required to exhaust all available means of the recovery before writing off. बिल्कुल ऐसा करेंगे, ठीक है. Bank are required to disclose only the total amount of write-off in their annual financial statement without breaking it down into technical write-offs, ठीक है. So technical or write-off will be required in this particular case, ठीक है. So with technical write-off it should be. So 1 3 4 आपका, ठीक है. 1 3 4 means option A will be right answer for this particular one, ठीक है. So statement 2 was incorrect. Amount set aside provisioning of the NPA are not eligible for tax deduction, and आपका 5 is incorrect because bank are required to disclose full detail of write-off including the technical aspect of that particular loan आपका, ठीक है. चलो next one. This is very easy question, half marks का question, बहुत आसान है, सबको आता है ये question, but आप बताएंगे नहीं कैसे. ABC Bank restructure a corporate loan 50 crores due to the borrower's temporary financial difficulties. As per the RBI guidelines, the account was a standard asset before the restructuring. What will be the classification of the asset immediately after restructuring? It will be categorized under substandard asset as per the RBI provisions आपका, ठीक है. Substandard asset में जाएगा आपका ये सीधा, ठीक है. So first thing आपका. Next one. So this is the category we all know. Next one. The provisioning things आपका, ठीक है. Provisioning things I have kept here. Please go through this. We have discussed with that question itself. For your standard asset, ठीक है. तो standard asset का provisioning, this is very very important one guys. I'll mention homework here again and I'll upload these particular PDFs on regular basis on application itself, ठीक है, and I'll keep generating आपका mock test and quizzes, unit wise quizzes. So please be active on quiz that application also, ठीक है. तो आप application का link I have given in the Telegram group also. तो वहाँ पे what challenge I face with the Telegram things, ठीक है, जैसे मैं इसको upload करूँगा, day after tomorrow somebody will join, then they'll ask for the same PDF. Okay, so the best solution what I found, I'll add these particular one in the free section of the application. You can download that particular one in a go. एक साथ आपका CIB के सब्जेक्ट वाइज, आपका मॉड्यूल वाइज सारे आप डाउनलोड कर पाएंगे. ठीक है दोस्तों, तो दिस इज समथिंग विच यू नीड टू टेक केयर. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, BFM और ABM दोनों में हेल्प करेगा. ठीक है. सो अ लोन 20 crores was classified as NPA. As of January 1st 2025 the asset has remained NPA. तो 12 महीने हो गए, तो सब स्टैंडर्ड एसेट से आप कहाँ आएगा ये आपका, as per the RBI provisioning norm, what percentage of provisioning should the bank make for the loan if it reclassified as doubtful? तो first we will enter it into 25%. ठीक है, B आपका 25%. Yes, आसान है. Next one, a corporate borrowers has failed to make its interest payment due on 1st March 24. The delay continue beyond 30 days, but it still under 60 days. So what is the category? कौन सी category में आते हैं? So we have three categories: SMA 0, SMA 1 and SMA 2, and it falls under SMA 1 आपका. ठीक है. So SMA 1 means option B will be right answer for this one. ठीक है. So 0 to 30th day SMA 0 आपका, SMA 1 31st to आपका 60th day, 61st to 90th it is आपका SMA 1. After that we categorize that particular asset as a non-performing asset. First 12 months आपका substandard, ठीक है. Then आपका for next 3 years doubtful asset. After that आपका loss asset. ठीक है. So the provisioning and things also you have to take care, and this is it. So this is all about your आपका unit number 17 part 1. ठीक है. Please do take care around this. So almost 1 hour discussion around this particular topic. I hope you enjoy this particular session. Please do give your feedback in the comment section, those who are watching this particular one in recorded session. Okay. If you have some feedback like around the question things or what you want from my side, okay, so that will help me to prepare the content things and all. Okay. उसी accordance हम लोग आपका content prepare करेंगे. And if anything additional you required, so just do let me know. Just after that your BFM class will be activated. Okay. So BFM restart series next 31 days 31 session. ठीक है. तो वहाँ तक आपका वी विल बी डूइंग ABM ऑल्सो. तो इस तरीके से कॉम्बिनेशन बना करके चलेंगे. ठीक है. एंड वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग थिंग्स एंड ऑल, एंड डू प्रोवाइड योर फीडबैक. कैसा लगा जरूर बताइएगा, फीडबैक जरूर दीजिएगा, सो जिससे उन पे हम आपका काम कर पाएं और आने वाले समय में चीज़ों को और बेहतर बना पाएं. ठीक है दोस्तों. सो दिस इज द टेलीग्राम ग्रुप, सो यू कैन ज्वाइन दिस पर्टिकुलर वन एंड यू कैन आस्क फॉर योर doubts, and do download the application, and in free section I'll upload these particular one. All right, so this is it. Bye bye.